Ubisoft apologizes to Japan, kind of, about Assassin's Creed Shadows and Yasuke, the Black Samurai, all that kind of stuff. Now, let me just say before I dive into this, we have been gaslit so much by all the woke people. We have been speaking out against this. I've made multiple videos about this, and I have Japanese viewers who are leaving me comments and saying, hey, they're keeping me up to speed about what the actual problem is for the Japanese people. And across the board, it has seemed to be that, hey, they're trying to pass this off as a realistic thing, that Yasuke was actually a samurai, even though he was a retainer. And their problem wasn't even so much that they made this work of fiction, is the fact that they tried to pass it off as accurate. And that's where they had issues, because then it makes Japan look like, hey, are they being racist because they're not acknowledging Yasuke as an actual samurai when Ubisoft here and their historians say that he was? So that was the bigger issue. Granted, a lot of the woke people in the comments and the people who want to push back and gaslight about everything are firing back saying, oh no, there's no actual Japanese people who don't like this. It's just a bunch of Americans, white Americans. Japanese people don't care, despite the fact that this actually reached a government level of attention in Japan. So that's the thing. That's the thing these woke ideologues do best. They lie, they manipulate, they gaslight because they have no morals. So anyway, now Ubisoft has responded to this, and let's see what they have said. This comes to us from Bounding Into Comics. And they said, in response to the absolutely massive wave of backlash directed toward those players from the land of the rising sun, the Ubisoft dev team currently working on Assassin's Creed Shadows has apologized for the fact that some elements of the game's promotional material may have caused concern within the Japanese community. I mean, yeah, don't even get me started with that. Using different logos and stuff that were wrong and all of that. Dude, this is so much more than promotional materials, though. Come on, Ubisoft. That's the thing, is they're halfway doing this game. They're half butt doing it, and then they're half butt apologizing. Okay. As previously reported and extensively covered by BIC contributor Cider Hype on our YouTube channel, the next entry in Ubisoft's long-running historical fiction series has drawn the ire of some Japanese players due to the very noted historical and cultural errors seen throughout its production. These include various in-game buildings featuring Chinese rather than Japanese architecture. Wow. A servant being depicted as sitting on the same stage as Oda Nobunaga himself, an act which would have been seen as a massive disrespect and resulted in the servant's execution. And of course, the insistence that the historical African transplant known as Yasuke was not just a retainer to Nobunaga, but rather a full-blown samurai. In response to this ongoing outrage, the Shadows dev team took to the game's official Twitter account on July 23rd to both apologize for having caused offense and also defend their creative vision. And this is what they say. First, we want to express our heartfelt thanks to all your support for the Assassin's Creed series, which now has its own history spanning almost 20 years, began the team's lengthy statement. Over time, we have explored various settings, time periods, and characters from an assassin during the Third Crusade to a Viking in the 9th century England, and countless more. For many of our team, creating an Assassin's Creed game set in feudal Japan has been a long cherished dream. It continued, since the announcement of Assassin's Creed Shadows, we have received many positive reactions, but also some criticism, including from you, our Japanese players. We share your passion for history and deeply respect your care for the historical and cultural integrity of your rich heritage. We would like to address a few points to clarify our intentions and creative decisions. Starting with their overall authenticity efforts, the team explained, "We have put significant effort into ensuring an immersive and respectful representation of feudal Japan. However, our intention has never been to present any of our Assassin's Creed games, including Assassin's Creed Shadows, as factual representations of history or historical characters. Instead, we aim to spark curiosity and encourage players to explore and learn more about the historical settings we get inspired by." This is crazy because in what was it, Assassin's Creed 2 or whatever, they even changed like the crossbow, something like that, because they wanted it to be more accurate. So let's not pretend that Assassin's Creed didn't care about historical accuracy with their stuff. They did. The difference here is that they used fictional characters in the past, and in this case, for the protagonist, and in this case, they wanted to use a real guy and just completely change. Like, why would you, if you're not gonna be realistic anyway, or if you're gonna just make something up, make up a different character. Why are you doing this? Also, the fact that they're making Yasuke gay, homo, all that stuff, it's like, bro, they're just, how do we know that he would have wanted this is all I'm saying. Oh, yikes. Just imagine long after you're dead, somebody makes a video game or a movie about you and they make you gay. That just seems disrespectful to me, but I digress. Assassin's Creed Shadows is first and foremost designed to be an entertaining video game that tells a compelling historical fiction set in feudal Japan, they added. Our team extensively collaborated with external consultants, wasted your money, historians wasted money, researchers wasted money, and internal teams at Ubisoft Japan to inform our creative choices. Again, wasted money. How did you get away with as many problems that you did? Their historian or their expert that they had on board, all she cared about was sexualities and homo crap. That's all she cared about. Despite these sustained efforts, we acknowledge that some elements in our promotional materials have caused concern within the Japanese community. For this, we sincerely apologize. It was more than just promo materials. All game footage presented so far is in development, and the game will keep evolving until launch, the devs then clarified. Based on the constructive criticism we have received, we will continue our efforts until we put this game into your hands and beyond. Can you give us a Japanese protagonist, please, as the main dude, please? We also want to clarify that while we have been consulting with many people throughout the development process, they are in no way responsible for the decisions that are taken by the creative team in the interest of gameplay and entertainment, said the Shadows team. Consequently, we respectfully request that any criticism not be directed at our collaborators, both internal and external. Turning to the topic of the game's creative liberties and historical inspirations, in particular those specifically regarding Yasuke, the team asserted, "While we strive for authenticity in everything that we do, Assassin's Creed games are works of fiction inspired by real historical events and figures. From its inception, the series has taken creative license and incorporated fantasy elements to craft engaging and immersive experiences. The representation of Yasuke in our game is an illustration of this. His unique and mysterious life made him an ideal candidate to tell an Assassin's Creed story with the setting of feudal Japan as a as a backdrop." AKA, they wanted to make the character black and they needed an excuse to do that. They wanted to get woke and virtue signal and make a black character in Japan. That's it. Okay. While Yasuke is depicted as a samurai in Assassin's Creed Shadows, we acknowledge that this is a matter of debate and discussion. AKA, he really wasn't. They added, "We have woven this carefully into our narrative, and with our other lead character, the Japanese shinobi Naoi, nobody freaking cares I don't want the dual protagonist stuff. I just want to play as a dude. Let me play as a Japanese dude. That's all I wanted. Who is equally important in the game, our dual protagonists provide players with different gameplay styles. Drawing their statement to a close, the team ultimately assured Japanese players, "We greatly value your feedback and encourage you to continue sharing your thoughts respectfully. While we understand that meeting everyone's expectations is very difficult, we sincerely hope that when Assassin's Creed Shadows launches on November 15th, players in Japan and around the world will appreciate the dedication, effort, and passion we poured into it." I have no interest in this game, just saying. All right, so they shared this, they have that, and then we have here, Cassie says, funny how Ghost of Tsushima didn't have these issues. It's almost like one studio set out to make a good, respectful game, and you guys had other things in mind, like manufacturing engagement on a mediocre franchise. Very well said. I agree. Kongman says here, imagine if you just stuck with a Japanese main character for a game that takes place in feudal Japan. For real, why is that so hard? Smash JT says you guys just couldn't help putting a black guy in it and making him gay. Could you? Which that's such a thing right now. Not only is it the whole let's race swap characters, let's make black characters where they don't belong in this case, and make them gay. Always make them gay. They really want to homofy black men because black men are typically very masculine. And so they try to feminize them and homofy them in Hollywood and all around. So it's just really weird. DEI propaganda at its finest. Tell us more about how everyone else is wrong but you. Dance fast as OF off. Master of the TDS translation. We are wrong, but we don't want to change anything. Please still buy our game. Okay. Get woke, go broke. Exactly. Yeah, so this is where we're at. I have no intention of playing this. I used to be a pretty big Assassin's Creed fan. I haven't played every single one of the games in the franchise, but I have played multiple of them. And I really like some of them. But I digress. I even think of the recent ones, Odyssey was really good. Odyssey was great. But I didn't like Valhalla at all. I liked the mini game with the dice, and that's all I could really tolerate. But yeah. Anyway, there you have it for this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. And if you want me to read the Bible to you, you can check out my Bible channel, Bible Time with Melanie Mack. So anyway, thanks again for watching. I'll catch you next time. In the meantime, go boom.